Hello, and welcome back to Girl We Gotta Talk. I'm your host, Elena Jake. So welcome back to another episode. You guys are, oh my gosh, you guys are so lucky today. We have the amazing, the beautiful Lucy Edmunds from Below Deck. Welcome, Lucy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So good. We were just saying it's like 8 o'clock there.
Yeah, I'm freezing. It's so cold at the minute.
Is it cold there? It's getting cold here. It's so sad.
Where are you in America?
I'm in Virginia, like near DC.
Yeah, I know Virginia Tech.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that in Virginia? That's in Virginia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, so it's getting a little cold. I'm sad, but I guess it's like you can just cozy up on the couch now. That's where I'm
Yeah,
at.
I do like that. And it's Christmassy.
Yeah. A little different than your Below Deck season, which I want to talk so much about. So you were just on Below Deck sailing yacht, and I have so many questions. I feel like you came on like so strong. You were hilarious. Like I was watching with my boyfriend. I got him into Below Deck.
I love that.
I'm a big Bravo girl. And he was like, I think this was his first season, and he was like, this is so good. Like
It's addictive.
it is. And I was like, secretly, like, yes, I did it. Like I converted him.
Maybe not the housewife. Maybe that's the next one.
Yeah, I'm trying. We're so close. But we both have just been saying, and like so many of my friends and I, we just think you're hilarious. You are so fun to watch on TV. I feel like also you were just so good at your job too. And we'll talk like I have so many questions about all of that.
Yeah.
But I guess like backing up, when did you get started in yachting? Like give us a little introduction as to like who you are and how you got started with all of that.
Yeah, so I'm 24. I was 23 when I filmed, and I'd say quite young, but I actually started yachting at 21, and it was COVID at the time, and I was in university, and I just couldn't be in university anymore, like the summer break, without being able to go out and stuff. There's so many restrictions in the UK, and I thought, oh, I'll type all my qualifications into the Google and see how I can go traveling during COVID and earn money, because I was a uni student, so we didn't have much back then. And I'm acting like it's ages ago, but you're a uni student, you don't have much.
Yeah.
And then I did the course, and then about 2 weeks later, I was like, do you know, I'm a very like go get it. Like if I'm gonna do it, let's just do it now. I was like, do you know what? 2 weeks later, I flew out to a crew house in south of France, so where every yachty goes. Crazy place. I spent about 3 days partying a bit too hard. And then I went and got a job. I got a job within 4 days, which is very lucky, quite unheard of. And I did it. I was stuck down in laundry, but I started yachting through then. And then I came back and finished uni. And I got offered Below Deck then, because I had 1 more year of uni left. And yeah, I mean, I literally moved out of my uni house with all my friends, and the next day I was on a plane to Sardinia.
Crazy. That is
you loved uni. I was such a uni girl.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
It is so crazy too, because I just turned 26. So I'm like your age. I don't think when you were saying you're 23 on the boat, like I just don't think I could have done that at 23. Like I feel like I wasn't like that's so crazy. You were so young. Were you the youngest on the boat at the time?
Yeah, I was. They didn't really talk about it, but yeah, I was the youngest by quite a lot. I mean, Mads was 24, so she's just
yeah.
And then it was, who was it after? Then it was Alex, Chase, Alex, and then the rest.
Yeah.
But I tried to work out. I was like, could Colin be my dad? And we tried to work it out, but he'd have to have had me very young. But Glenn could have.
Glenn could have. I love Glenn so much. What was Glenn like behind, like, you know, what did we not see that you guys got to see of Glenn? Is he just like the goofy little nice? He's so little.
Do you know what the best thing is when he makes the most dad joke and then he just starts laughing, but it's so not funny, but you're just laughing at him, laughing at himself. And then you're just like, oh my, and those crackers, he used to eat those crackers so much. I just couldn't. Yeah, he's funny. I'd love to go out drinking with Glenn. Definitely.
It's so interesting because like you'll see on the show, you guys all have your days off or your nights off, and you guys have so much fun. I wish sometimes the captains would go with you just to like hang out and just vibe, because I feel like Glenn,
Yeah.
the way that Glenn talks about his past, he seems like he was crazy back then.
Oh,
Like,
I reckon he parties.
yeah,
You've not
I
seen
know
pictures of
Glenn is
him?
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon he partied hard.
I wish he went out with you guys. That would have been so funny to watch.
I know, could you imagine?
Uh,
He would have probably been actually more scared if he saw us partying, I think.
he's like, you
Maybe
guys
he would
are
have
on
stopped us. Yeah, bye.
fire. Okay, so kind of backing up a little bit. When you got called for Below Deck, were you nervous about being filmed or like being followed, or like what was your like initial thought of like, oh God, like I'm gonna go work on this boat, but like everyone's gonna see everything?
Right, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I literally had just finished uni and I was in my I don't care stage. I was like, the day I found out, the moment I remember I had an American lady call me and on an American number, and I was like, what? And I'd forgot about the whole thing. She was just like, hi Lucy, and I was like, what? And I was literally getting ready to go out with my friends, and I just didn't even think in. She's like, oh, we want you on this, like blah blah, like we want you, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm like. I was like crying, and then I went obviously out and got drunk for my friend's birthday.
Yeah, you had to. Yeah.
And then it was like, well, yeah, we need you and like whatever, like really soon. And I just didn't have time to process it. And the only time I think I processed it really was in the airport, because I love you guys to bits. I really love Americans. But you guys just think that the UK is so big. I got sent, because an American did my flights, I got sent to 2 different countries before I went to Italy.
No
Italy's
way.
only 2 hours away. I was like, oh my gosh. I was literally on these 2 planes, like connecting planes, and I've never done that before, because Italy's 2 hours away from the UK. And I was just like, I was sat in Germany before I got to Italy from the UK, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually about to do this. And I like looked at YouTube videos and stuff like that, but you can't really prepare yourself for it, because you just got to be you, but you don't know the cameras are there, and you get used to it very quickly.
Yeah,
But they're there.
well, and there's like, you guys have cameras in your cabin, which I feel like those I would forget about. Like, I feel like just doing like everyday thing, you're not thinking that there's a camera
Getting
watching.
changed.
But like with the big crew, did they ever get in your way? Did you guys like become friends with them, or was it?
Yeah, you don't make friends, because obviously you don't break the fourth wall, but afterwards they're just lovely people. They're just like young people, like, well, not young, but like they're just starting their career as well, and or they've been in it for ages, and yeah, I still message some now, and I love them, but at the time, yeah, you well, it's just like an invisible object in front of you. That's what you have to act like. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, you just get used to it very, very quick. But I could imagine from an outsider's point of view, like, oh my God, the camera right in your face. When I first walked on, I was like, I don't really get nervous that much once I'm settled in, but like the first 5 minutes, I was so nervous. And I remember walking up the passerelle, and Glenn was there to greet me, and I was like this. And then my bag got caught on the passerelle, and they did show it, but it wasn't like, they didn't show it. And I was just like tackling with my bag, and I was like, oh my gosh, like. And actually, a fun fact as well, the dress I wore when I first went on the boat, I was so nervous before. I was just like pacing around my room. I had to change it because I'd ripped the one that I originally wanted to wear, one of my favorite dresses. Yeah, because before I went on the boat, I was just like so nervous, I was just pacing around, and I caught on the wardrobe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was
Great
just like,
start to the season. Really.
I don't know. That's just me though, isn't it? I'm very clumsy, very.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about that too, because first,
good.
I guess I should ask, how is your back?
Yeah, so I do have a permanent scar.
Oh my gosh.
I would show you now, but my underwear isn't the nicest. But yeah, I mean, I can send you a picture. Yeah, permanent.
I mean, we like watching that as a viewer, it looked so bad. And then I like the fall itself, or like however it happened, looked so bad. And then seeing it like right after, just like it made me like crawl up. I was like, oh my God. Oh, poor thing.
I was watching it at the same time as you, so we're all doing it together. I genuinely don't remember, and when I watched it, like made me feel sick, but I don't remember it at all.
Well, that's
and maybe that's the best way to be.
Oh yeah, it helps. It helps for sure. Okay, well, I wanted to ask you about just everything on the boat. So I feel like watching it, you like my perspective of you was like, she stays out of the drama and she's kind of like us, where like she's watching it all go down and she has like so much to say, like we do. I feel like you had like a first look at everything going on with like Daisy and Gary, with Colin, like you were besties with Mads, like you kind of saw everything at a distance, but you never really got in that. What, like, are you someone that doesn't really like drama
Yeah.
and typically you stay out of it?
So you've actually put it really well. I've got told that I narrate what the audience was thinking. So you might have seen like a lot of me on the green screen, and I was just like, my comments would narrate what you guys were thinking. So I would be like, I'd be saying what you guys are saying, like,
Yeah.
why are you being like this? Or like, you literally have two boyfriends, why are you crying? So I was very good at doing that because because maybe I wasn't in the drama. And I'm not someone that has a lot of drama or causes a lot of drama, but I'm not one to shy away from, if I don't think that something's right, then I'll say it. And there's some seasons, because on my season I got on with everyone. Obviously, when drama with me and Chase happened, I did say it then. Like we all saw that. But it takes a lot for me to blow. But like when I watch other seasons, like what I'm watching at the minute, Med, I'm like, oh my, I would have gone. I would have blown.
I'm getting
I
fired up.
would really like.
Yeah, Med is like really getting me fired up.
Yeah, I watched it this morning and I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah. No, I then I would have been like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it takes for me a lot to get to that point. Like you have to do a lot. You have to like, it has to be repetitive
Yeah,
for me to be like, okay, now I'm going to say something. But I'm pretty like easygoing. I
yeah,
think that's how you were too. It's like,
yeah.
if you're just going to pester me, because I think with the Chase thing that you're talking about, he kept saying something like inappropriate over and over again. And so I think you're like, okay, relax. Like it's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stop. Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, to be honest, like I laughed at it the first, second time, and then like laughed it off because like as a not like I'm not saying anything bad, but like you always get those comments. Like I don't really care. Like I love boys banter. I think all my friends at home are boys, and like I know boys are like idiots sometimes. So I just like laugh it off or like whatever. But then like the constant one, and then it was just basically I just didn't like when he said like, oh, I'm an a-hole. Like, is that what you're calling me then? And I was like, no, I never called you that because you're putting words in my mouth. So that's for me is just like that's when I was like pushed over the edge. It wasn't even his comments about the tequila. I didn't really care that much, but it was just yeah. I mean, obviously, like just boys being boys, but
Yeah.
maybe I scared him. Maybe I put a
Yeah.
stop to it. I don't know.
He
I hope that
apologized the next
I think
day. Yeah.
yeah, he did. He apologized. I said to him, look, Chase, just leave me for a bit. Like, let me stew. Let me just get over it, and then whatever. Like, I'm not one to hold a massive grudge because I don't really care that much. And you're so tired, and you live together. So yeah, I'm not one to hold a grudge at all.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you too, like, how is it? Because yachting is a very unique experience where you go to work, but then when you go to bed, you're sleeping with all of like around all of your, like, you're just with these people
Yeah,
24/7. What is that
all the
like? Are
time.
you like, like, does it get to you where you're just like, I need space from everybody?
You know what? I'm not an alone person, so like I love being with someone 24/7. Like these people, I don't like my own company because I just my brain is just crazy. Like I would just think about mad stuff. So not like weird, but like
Yeah.
I just like I love I love being with people all the time. So yachting for me was fine in that way. But I mean I didn't have it on below deck sailing. I mean, with the Chase thing, it is always a bit awkward the next morning when you've had a fight. Like that was awkward for me. It's not always the nicest. Obviously, like when you wake up and you just want a morning coffee, and then someone that you just like screamed at last night is there. That's hard. But for me, that definitely wasn't my worst one. I've had way worse. Um, and yeah, it is very hard to live with people that you might not get on with. And it can happen. Not everyone likes everyone in their workplace. Trust me.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Um, So I want to talk about your relationship with Mads, because that was somebody that you like really hit it off with, and you guys were rooming together. Like you got this like such a
We
fun.
weren't. It was me and Alicia.
Oh wait,
Everyone thinks this.
oh, you're right.
Yeah, they everyone thinks this. They split us up because I know you would have thought we were. They split us up because two senior people can't sleep with each other. Like not sleep with each other, like in the same room.
In the same room. Wait, you're so right.
Yeah. I know
Um,
it's weird. Everyone says that.
yeah. And like Aisha, like she was also one of those people that really stayed out of the drama too. So I feel like you guys had that little like, okay, you're right. Um, but your friendship with Mads was like, I mean, you guys hit it off. You guys were like two peas in a pod, had so much fun together. What was that like when you guys first met? Were you just like, this is gonna be my girl for the season? Like you just loved it?
No, I went in. I remember I went into. I think as two like blonde, quite dominant girls, quite both very confident. We went into the crew mess. I remember, and Daisy was like, "Right, who has like the experience and stuff like that?" Like she's obviously read our TV, and then Mads like said something, and I was like, and I think she said something. She said like she had this experience, but whatever. And then she didn't say anything else. I was like, oh my god, no, she's gonna be horrible. And then she goes, but I don't care what I do. Like, I'll just do any job. Like, because we were picking who's second student and stuff like that. Not picking, but Daisy was like, and then Daisy was like, okay, there's not gonna be a like second stew. And then I was like, oh my god, I love this girl. She's actually really chilled. Like at first, I think which is terrible, but as a woman and a blonde girl, I went in and I was like, oh no, she like I think she's just gonna be like really like a bit mean and stuff like that. And then literally within the first 5 minutes, she probably thought that of me as well. Actually, I think she told me that because we both have really bad like RBFs, and yeah, and then we were fine. Within the first 5 minutes, we went down to clean the rooms, and we were just like laughing, like, and she was just asking me about my family, and yeah, I really needed her, and I think she really needed me that season.
Yeah. No, I think you could really see that watching it. Like your dynamic was super, like you guys were able to like really talk to each other about stuff. I feel like she came to you a
Yeah.
lot about stuff, especially with Gary. Like you were kind of like her soundboard. She would go to you and like ask your advice, and you would like give your reactions. And it was like really fun to watch, because I think it is very common, especially for people like in a sort of like the hierarchy of yachting, like someone that's above you, you're like, okay, well, you know, you're my superior, and there's sort of that competition.
Yeah.
But because Daisy like didn't assign you guys like second, third, fourth, whatever,
Yeah.
it was nice to
Yeah.
see, because then it was just like everyone's doing their part.
Yeah. Well, even we've actually had this conversation. Even if because I had more experience than her, even if I was second stew, I think Daisy didn't do it because of what the season before, or yeah, I think it was season before.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know. I didn't watch that one. And I think even if I was second stew, I think Mads we would have literally been the same. Like I'm such a cool, like I've been a manager before, like 6, 7 girls, like crazy, and in a VIP like establishment, and I'm just such a chill kind of manager, but I'm not your friend. I am your friend, sorry, but I'm not. I'm like, I know the boundaries with managing and friends. So I think we would have been fine anyway. And I would love to be a second stew to
Yeah.
someone nice and that wants to work. That's the main thing for me. Is
Yeah.
Mads wanted to work. Like she didn't know certain things within the interior because she'd done yachting. She knew a lot. And the stuff that she didn't know, she taught me. So we were very like that. But yeah, Mads was great. I really, really, really love Mads, and we still talk till today.
She's awesome.
We love a good gossip.
Yeah. Oh my God, I bet. Well, okay. What was your like take on the whole Gary of it all? Because I know we had like your commentary throughout the season, but like Mads and Gary had this like right off the bat, this like I don't even want to call it a relationship, but this thing going the whole season. And it was a little hard to watch because like Mads was not into it, but then like kept it up. And she was having fun with it. And I thought, number one, I will say I loved how honest she was about it all. Like she wasn't really like trying to pretend something she wasn't. She was like, yeah, I like it and I'm having fun and it's what I want to do. And I was like, go.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. But it was hard because like Gary wasn't great.
Yeah.
What was your like as her friend and as the girl that she's going to about it? What were your thoughts?
Well, number one, I was like, in the end, I was like, oh my gosh, not this again. But I was obviously always going to support her. And at the end of the day, we've all been, acting like I'm really old. We've all been young, but you can live your life as a young girl. Like we haven't got any tie downs. Like she doesn't have anyone back home. Who cares? Like you're having a bit of fun. But because it happens in any workplace as well. And that's what I sometimes hate about the hate she was getting, is it's probably happening in all of their workplaces. But because you're not living with each other and you don't know it, like no one care, like you don't care. But because you're watching it, obviously I know she knew she was going to get comments on it, but who cares that much? And yeah, they were never going to get in a relationship.
No.
Like, come on. Oh my God.
It was so like,
I was just like,
honestly,
oh my God.
it was really funny to watch her like interact with him
I love it.
when she would have like, when he would have, try to have conversations of like, well, what are we going to do when we leave? And she was like, Gary, I don't know, nothing. Like I lived for it.
Just there at the floor.
Yeah. Like she just didn't care. And I was like, this kind of attitude is amazing. Like she's so funny to watch. I loved it.
Yeah, because it's reversed. Women don't usually do that. So we were like, like go.
It was great. Okay. Speaking of relationships, did you pick up on the whole throuple vibe of it all with Daisy, Colin, and Gary, like throughout the season? Did you see any of that? Because Daisy tried to hide a lot of it and had conversations with Colin when, no one was really around. Did you get the vibes before?
No.
Really?
Honestly, no. And we all get asked this a lot. And honestly, I'll always say no, never. Because do you know why? They did keep it a secret. And I think maybe because mine and Daisy's relationship's a lot different now. We were a lot closer. At the time, obviously, we'd not known each other that long. She didn't know if she could trust me, all that. But now she would have told me 100%. But back then, I think, A, she didn't want us to get involved because she was our superior, obviously. And B, I don't think she even knew what was going on. So I don't think she needed me involved.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
And also, I'll let you know, we're on a 52-meter boat and they hid that. That's scary.
It is. It really is. Okay, I want to get into your role as a stew. So like for those of you who don't know what a stew is, it's basically like the interior of the boat. You're taking care of the guests, you're like the face of the guests. You are, doing like food, you are cleaning. There's so much that goes into it. There's way more than that. But I feel like this was one of the most brutal seasons to watch because you got stuck with like some of the worst situations, I feel like. There were like, I think it might have been like the last episode where I think it was like you were starting to crack, you were starting to lose it because it was so bad. And like the toilets weren't flushing. Like, okay, I was panicked for you.
No, they weren't.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because you are really like, as a stew, like you're doing so many things. Like, walk me through your processes of all of that.
Well, you're doing like 18-hour shifts, 26,000 steps. And then you're doing obviously all of the jobs you just listed off. And then you have people who can't flush the toilet themselves. And you're just like, oh my gosh, like, come on. I'm sleeping for like not even 6 hours, hardly any breaks. And now you really are taking it too far by wanting me to flush your toilet for you. I mean, I've had wild requests, and I've heard way worse stories than that on yachts, and I've even had worse myself. But there's a tipping point, and I was just like, yeah, I'm there. You've done it. Fair play.
You like
it takes a lot because I work hard.
The scene where you like called your family and you were like, I cannot deal with, like, they can't even flush the toilets. I'm gonna lose my mind. Like I was like laughing a little bit because I was like, this poor girl, like she's done so well this whole season. Like This is ridiculous. Like, I just felt so bad for you. That's disgusting. But how is there, like, what has been worse?
Yeah, I know.
You have worse stories?
Yeah, I mean, worse, I would say, not as in disgusting worse, but like request worst is like if there was a tissue box, I remember, right next to this woman. Literally, I would have to make more effort to go and get the tissue than she was. And she's like, "Can you pass me that tissue?" And just that's what I mean. It's not worse than flushing the toilet, obviously, but it's just little requests like that. It's so degrading, and that's the stuff that you have to deal with. And you're like, right, it's gonna be longer for me to come and get that tissue and give it to you than you to go and get it, or like you to bend your hand down and get it. So like stuff like that. But I mean, probably another one of the worst ones is not me, but one of my second shoots. She used to cut my bosses, like the owner of the yacht, his toenails. Yeah, because we didn't have a quite a lot of big yachts. You have like a beautician, and we
Yeah.
didn't have one. So yeah, and he only liked it done a certain way, and she was good at it.
No,
So yeah,
that's disgusting. See, okay. Well, I was gonna talk about
I mean, there's a lot worse than that, but
oh, I was gonna talk about the charter guests because I feel like these are, I mean, these are yachts, these are super yachts, and these people are paying a lot of money, and with that comes like a lot of entitlement.
yeah,
And you're there to really like make their experience the best it
yeah,
can be. Like, how do you deal like when
yeah,
situations like that happen? Like when you leave the room, are you just like take a deep breath, like be calm? How do you handle that? Because I would just get so infuriated.
yeah. Yeah. What did me and Mads used to when the charter would finish, I remember we'd strip the beds and we'd just like pick the sheets, like the dirty sheets, we'd just be kicking them and like screaming and punching the bed, like ah! And you just well, I guess a lot of yachties use drink, but we just would banter. I would go to Mads, I would literally have her like pinned to the wall and I'd be like, la la la, he's just done this, he's just done that. And she was like, and she'd just take it, and then she would do it the other way, and we would just do it to each other, and we'd scream at each other, and then we're like, okay, I've got to go now, and then we'd run back up and like finish making the drink. Like it'd
Back to
just be
work.
little stuff like that. Like you could be making a drink, I remember. Yeah, you're literally making a drink, and I remember I didn't have enough coffee, so I had to go back downstairs, make them all coffee. It was for an espresso martini, then come back up, and I just wanted to make this drink. And as I was going down, the kettle then it wasn't like the hot water wasn't working to make the coffee, and I was just like screaming, and I was just so mad. And then I was like, okay, guys, bye, I'm going now. And then I went back up, and I'm smiling, finishing making the drink. Like that's just what you do. That's
Mhm.
yachting.
Yep, you got to put the
It's
face
crazy.
on. You got to do it. Oh my gosh. Um, okay, well, I wanted to ask like where there was a reunion and you guys did it all through like it was virtual. How did you feel about the reunion?
Yeah.
Where does everybody stand now? It seems like you are pretty close with Daisy. You're still in touch with Mads. Were you angry leaving the reunion? Like based off of how people answered stuff? Were you shocked about what happened at the reunion? What was like your reflection on all of that?
The reunion for me, I was just like, obviously I didn't really say anything, which is fine. I mean, probably wasn't there for me to talk about. I was just shocked that, yeah, I was shocked at some of the answers. I was shocked that I'm upset for a relationship for 3 years. No, they must be longer. 4 years for them lot, all of them three together, just breaking in front of everyone's eyes. I think that was very sad. Like they were all very close, and they've been there for each other. And once the season airs, you need to be there for everyone else. So they've obviously been very close, and I was just upset for obviously Gary, Daisy, and Colin just to break their relationship. Really, that's what I'm sad at for them.
Yeah,
It is sad
it
because
was
you lot
hard to
love them. Like,
watch.
everyone loves them.
Yeah, it was hard to watch because it's like you know the history behind all of them, and we've seen them like as fans, people have seen them on these shows
Yeah,
over time, and it was like happening in real time, like watching the friendships break, which was sad.
yeah.
By the way, you looked stunning.
Thank you.
snatched, gorgeous. I
Thanks.
was like, oh my God, Lucy, like you guys all look so
I was
fantastic.
sat in my living room.
What?
I was literally sat in my living room. I didn't go out after. I went straight to bed. Such a
Oh my
waste.
gosh. So what is it like post show? Like, what are you up to right now? Do you think you'll do below deck again? Are you getting on a boat soon? What is life like right now?
Yeah, so I did temping, so temporary work during the summer on yachts. I loved it, and it definitely like ignited a fire in me again. I love yachting. I am ready to be a second stew, 100%. I know what I'm doing now, and I think I'm ready to manage. And yeah, so I did temping of that because I was very busy as well, and I just wanted to have a summer where I chilled. Um, and now I'm also getting into like presenting, so TV presenting,
Yeah.
mainly sport. So yeah, I'm doing that, and it's going well. It's going slow, but it's going well, and I know I just got to stick at it, and it will all pay off in the future.
Yeah, well, that was my next question because on the show we watched you pass and we watched you like graduate and the crew kind of put on a little like ceremony kind of party for you. And you were very like nervous leading up to it, like to get your, I guess, your results or whatever.
Yeah,
And what was that like? And like, what was it? You said like sports management, something like
yeah,
sports.
yeah,
So what is that? Like you want to be a presenter?
yeah.
Like what are the goals? What do we want? This is so exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd love to do some sport in America. I think maybe because of my platform over there, that would be very good, and I think it would work. But yeah, I want to interview all the sports stars. I want to be the person on the front of the TV. I've definitely got a long way to go and a long ladder to climb, but I'll get there.
Yeah. It's
I
so fun.
will.
That's actually what I like initially went to school for. I really wanted to do
Oh
like
wow.
sports broadcasting and did broadcasting like all through college. And it's so fun. And I just love sports.
Yeah.
Wait, what is your favorite sport over there though? Are you like, is it like rugby that you're into? I feel like you've mentioned it.
Yeah, I love watching rugby. Yeah, and the boys. No, I'm joking. And I love what do I love? Sorry, I completely forgot that. I used to be a cyclist, so cycling's a massive thing, and I would love to come and cover the cycling over in America.
That
I
would
love
be
Americans. I love your sport. You guys love sport over there.
Yeah, we really do. We really do. Okay, what is the dating life like? You just mentioned the boys and rugby. Like what's going on with you now? Are you dating? Are you seeing anyone? Are you just having a good time, living your best?
I'm just focusing on my career at the moment. Yeah, as I say, I love rugby boys, so we'll just see where that's going.
I love it. I love it. Quickly, with the jobs that you had leading up to the boat, you worked in like VIP and like clubs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned something about getting punched. Like I just need the story. Just
You need more.
yeah.
So in the club I worked in, we have a VIP barricaded, as I used to call it, that section, and I was working there. Bear in mind, sometimes the nights are not always the nicest of people. It wasn't like the most high-end people, but sometimes we would. But this night it wasn't the nicest of people, and these two women, I was up there and I was hostessing. I was like bringing the drinks and whatever, and I was manager on there at the time, and there was no bouncer around, and there always should be. So don't know what they were doing. We all know what they're like. And I was in between these two women who were fighting over this one bloke, and we all know how that can go. And they were, I mean, I'm not a small girl. I'm 5'9". When anyone meets me, they're like, "Oh my God, I thought you were so small, like so much shorter than that." So I mean, I can hold my own, I'd like to think, but these women were going for it, and this one, she just swung. I had heels on, and I was just on the floor. Yeah.
Oh
And
no.
I was screaming. I was like on my radio, I was like, "Come here now," to the bouncers. And when they got over, I wouldn't speak to the bouncers for like 3-4 weeks. I was like, "You need to do your job." But
You were
yeah,
late. You didn't help me at all. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Oh my God.
useless.
Okay, yeah, because you briefly mentioned that on the show, and I was like, she's gotten punched before. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So
It's not
crazy.
that bad, yeah.
Do you feel like that job prepared you for boats?
I mean, yeah, I love that job. I had that job when I was 18, 19. I love that job. Yeah, I think it did a little bit.
That's amazing. Also, I am also 5'9", and so I love that about you.
Thanks.
I could tell that you were tall on the show, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah,
Tall girls
yeah.
represent.
I love that. I love being tall.
Awesome. Okay, well, any final thoughts on the season and anything on like what's to come? Where can people find you also?
Yeah, so I post a lot on TikTok and obviously Instagram. And I love when people message me. I always try and message all the fans of Below Deck. I love it. I think I love you guys because you're what makes the show. And then yeah, what's to come? You know what? I would love to be on another season. I don't know what's gonna happen. If I am, I'm not. I am, sorry. If I'm not, I'm not. We'll just see. And then yeah, hopefully you'll see me on the screens of sports broadcast.
Yeah, we definitely will. I hope that we see you soon on Below Deck. You were so fun to watch. We had so much fun watching you. I think like you bring such a fun energy to like the chaos of it all. And you were just a great time. And you're so lovely in person. Thank you so much for coming on and talking.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And I wish you the best of luck. We'll see you on the screens for sports. You'll do something soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've loved doing this, and I love all you guys as well. And you've been great. I love you. You're so cool.
Thank you so much. It was so great talking to you.
Okay.